Witnessing a bit of a rock fight in OKC tonight. Thunder shooting 39%. Boston shooting 31%. Paul George has 13, and the Thunder at home leading 50-34 over the Celtics, who go 16 points in the first quarter, 18 in the second quarter, as they come in 2-2. American Express halftime report, Ernie Johnson, Shaq, Kenny, and Charles. Jump right to the American Express teammates on the Boston side. And as we came on the air tonight, we talked about the problems they are having offensively. And in the first half, Kyrie Irving 4 points on 2 of 5. Gordon Hayward's taken 2 shots, only has 1 point. And this season combined, those two 39% and 24% from deep. The Celtics, by the way, 0 for 11 in the first half from three-point range. Chucks, what is up with the Celtics?
They don't know how to do other things. Every guy you mentioned needs the ball to score. I mean, there's not one player on their team you say is a defensive stopper. There's not one guy on the team you can say, hey, he's going to give me a bunch of rebounds. They all need the ball to be successful. And that's what I thought the biggest question mark was going to be. Because there's not enough balls to go around, but it's going to be a work in progress all season. I mean, because like I say, this notion that just because Gordon and Kyrie are back, them other two forwards just going to stand around. Al wants the ball. So it's
but given what they did last year, it seems strange to say this is going to be a work in progress.
Well, because they didn't have them two all-stars.
They had Kyrie most of the season, didn't have him in the postseason.
Yeah, but
the postseason
when those guys grew up, Tatum and Brown and Al Horford, they got all the shots. Now they're not getting shots.
It would have been beneficial if the two that was out would have said, you know what, this is how they play. Let me insert what I could do to this style rather than going back to the old style of I'm taking all the shots, y'all wait.
That's the way. But that's the way they play. Really? Kyrie is a score first point guard. Gordon is a scoring guard, and now it's weird though, Ernie, because when you have a lot of talent, like Kenny and Shaq know, you have to have guys who say, hey, I'm not getting no shots and I'm good with it. I'm gonna do all the dirty work. When you have a bunch of guys who want the ball, it's a lot harder than people think.
Yeah, I always said the guys that did that weren't good with it, but they accepted it. They did accept it, and that's the key. You have to accept it. You don't have to be good with it, because at times people weren't good with it for sure, but they always accepted that role.
What did you see out of OKC in the first half?
I see that when you don't have shooters on your team, you have to find other ways to score. And they definitely find other ways to score. Second chance points, Thunder 14, Celtics 4. Right here, the main guy goes to the basket. And again, we don't have shooters, so we got to fight. We just sat here and talked about you got to do other things. That's what you got to do. Because when you get second chance points, you give your team another opportunity to get a shot. Right here, Russell Westbrook has this ability. That's because you're battling and you're fighting. Right here, you just keep battling, you keep fighting, second chance point. We don't need scores. We don't need plays called for us. This is what we're going to do. We're going to bust your ass on the boards and we're going to get second chance points. That's what you have to do when you don't have shooters. When you have shooters like Golden State, it's easier. But when you don't, you got to do the dirty work.
Well, let's go and continue on the not having shooters mentality. So how it affects Paul George and how it affects Russell Westbrook, and what they're trying to do. I heard you.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
okay.
Getting there.
I like that first step.
It's getting there. But when you don't have shooters and you're Oklahoma City, they have one shooter and Alex is over here in the corner, Adrenas. But most of their guys, they don't have shooters. So what does that entail? So when Paul George gets the ball here, you freeze it because he's not really a shooter over here. He's not extending the defense. He's not even at the three-point line. I'm here and I'm in the lane. Alex is a shooter, but he hasn't proven himself in big moments yet. He's been a shooter, but not in big moments. So I don't have my foot in the lane. So then all of a sudden, freeze it here. This is a shot because he's still good enough that he could take and now even make. But this is why, as you watch it, you can make this shot. But this is why it's difficult and you're going to have 39% shooting nights. Because if you do the same thing and there's no spacing and guys can't space the floor, freeze it here. Because freeze it. Here's Ibaka. He's saying go to the corner. Instead of him running to the corner, he would have been there already because I'm a shooter. I'm a space the floor. So now Russell Westbrook. So you got everybody's kind of figured out. That was Grant, sorry, trying to figure it out and not getting the ball. So now we get the ball into the post, freeze it again. You're going to start seeing everyone cheat down to the middle, which makes the shot much more difficult or the play more difficult because there's no spacing. Freeze it again. You see Grant in the corner, not at the three-point line, so where's Haywood? You see Adams, he's dived to the basket. Look at Kyrie, he's not paying attention to Russell Westbrook because he's not a great three-point shooter. So all of a sudden you think you have the advantage, you get the help in the lane, and all of a sudden you get a loss and a turnover because you don't have good spacing. At some point, they're going to have to figure out and how to get a shooter down there in Oklahoma City.
Yes, they are.
Have a little flashback there to Serge Ibaka back when he played for OKC.
I did say Serge Ibaka. Grant.
I thought I had missed a trade somewhere down the way. We're coming back with more on the American Express halftime report in just a second. Twitter machine. They all need the ball to score. Is there another way to score?
You have to learn to play without the ball, Daniel, Bill Bowie, whatever your damn.
Yes, you could get tip-ins. You could do other things.
Actually, you can play defense. You can
What's his last name, Chuck?
You can set screens.
What's his last name, Chuck?
Bill Bowie.